If you've made it this far in this series, then awesome. I can't wait to see your work. However, if you haven't watched part 1 or 2 of this, I'd suggest watching those first and then coming back to watching these ones. However, with that being said, this is part 3 of how to make a comic book based on my personal experiences making a comic book. So let's get on with the lesson. Okay, so we've written everything up, we've had it criticized, we've got it in the correct format, we know exactly how many panels, lines of dialogue, everything you need, and you're about to start shopping around for an artist. There's one more thing you can do. Now, some artists will do this. Sometimes you'll hire someone to do this specific thing. However, to make everything easier, the next step is layouts. And I'm going to show you my own layouts here, and I'm terrible at art. Like, I cannot draw a stick figure. So, bear with me. But we want layouts. Now, what layouts are? Layouts are a mock-up of the comic. You are drawing in the panels the way you saw it in your head when you were writing it out, and you were putting a very rough version of the layout onto these pages. They don't have to be to scale, they don't have to be perfect. However, you should really stop and think and plan all of this out. It'll make things so much easier when it comes to actually doing the art. So this next step is layouts. I just want to preface everything you're about to see from here on out with, this isn't finished. This is all a work in progress, okay? So keep that in mind with what I'm about to show you, but I'm giving you a raw and honest look at the creative process. And it's the holiday season, things are taking a bit longer. So bear with me on this one. However, I wanted to get this one out to you. So here is the initial layout that I drew for the test issue of my comic book, Crane City's Gargoyle. Oh god. So as you can see, I can't draw. I use stolen clip art and stick figures. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, but what this does is this gives the artist an idea of what was going through your head when you wrote what was on the page. It's the two and two sort of go hand in hand together just to create a more complete image for them. And like I said, some artists will prefer to do the layouts on their own. But as you can see, this is not good. However, after a little bit of back and forth with my artist, who is incredible, this is the test layout that I was sent back. As you can see, this is much better. It's taken everything that I thought of, and it's a literal sort of test of that. And then I got this and I thought, there's something off. It's a little pedestrian. It's a little flat. And I wasn't too happy with it. But remember, I am not an artist. And I'm not a professional comic book writer. So then my artist said, well, let me try something using your idea. And you tell me what you think. And so then we ended up with this. And I personally really like this. It's a lot more dynamic. It's setting the scene up better. And this is just where a good artist comes into play and is capable of just leveling up everything that you've done, because they're going to understand art so much better than, like, the visual art so much better than you are if you're like me and you're just a writer and you don't have the ability to translate what's going on in your head onto the page. So this is the work in progress now. So I get sent this and it's more of a, do you like it? Do you hate it? Does this work for you? And there are things I don't like about this, and this is not the final layout, but I'm showing you the process here as honestly as I can. So this is going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I'm happy with it. And until all my problems with it are sorted out. And then once that's done, we'll have a finished copy. Now, I can't show you a finished copy of this because this is a work in progress. But it's to show you how we go from that original sketch, which I'll bring up right now, and then turn it into something like this. And that's the job of a good artist. And I'm so happy I have a good artist. So now you've gone ahead and you've got the rough layouts for the comic book that you're doing. And before you finalize anything, the next step is to figure out the lettering. So the art looks good, but there's no point having good art if the script that you've written down doesn't fit on the page. On top of that as well, you need to be thinking about sound effects, and you need to be thinking about your booms, kapows, biff, bams, all that sort of stuff, and where it's going to fit on the page. Now, you should have these written down in your script, and everything is always scheduled to change once it translates to the page. However, this is a complicated thing. There are most professional comic book sort of teams and publications will have letterers, artists, line artists, colorers, a whole slew of people, sometimes up to 5+ people working on one issue, just to get everything right. I don't have that luxury, so myself and my artists will be working together on the lettering, but that is the next step, is making sure everything is clean, concise, all the text fits, it doesn't block anything important, and at this point, you'll be making changes to your script and to the layouts potentially to make it all fit and work, which is why you don't want to commit 100% to the art at this point in time, unless you're really, really good, like a professional comic book artist. Probably doesn't need to do that, but I'm not professional, so I'm keeping that window in there, and I'm not making my artists spend 100 hours on a page only to have me go, yeah, we're going to have to change that panel, because it's just not efficient and not a good way for us to work. Now, if you've got a pro, you may not need that, but like I said, I don't have a pro. And then once all the letter, and I don't have a sample to show you here because we're not up to this stage yet. We're still at the layouting stage. But once, I'll just find some clip art or something online. Once you've done that, then you've got a comic book, really. But we'll talk about that in the next chapter because there is a little bit more to do. You've got a little bit more to do. However, let's recap real quick. So you've gone through and you've done your test layouts. Then you've sort of worked with your artist to get those layouts correct and to a way where it flows well with the eyes and it looks good. Then you've gone and tested all the lettering and got your script fitting in so it reads well. That is the goal of today's lesson. So let me know what you think of what I showed you. Keep in mind it's all work in progress. I'm excited to see how you guys are all going with your comic books as well, and if you found this educational or not. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't have a lot to show you on this one, but I'm using my real comic book, and we're just not at that phase yet. So, yeah. As always, if you enjoyed this or you enjoy anything I do and you want to support me, there's a subscribe button. It puts a smile on my face, and you can always comment. I respond to all my comments and try my best to. So there's that as well. And have a nice day or night, and yeah, enjoy.